I will share to you about the king or the kingdom, the palace or his presence. Now, in this story, uh, I will give you uh, the secret of how to be successful in your daily endeavors, and we will base the principles in the life of Esther. Now, King Xerxes was the king of the Persian Empire, and this kingdom was invaded by Alexander the Great a century ago in the life of Alexander the Great. Now, Esther was a Jewish woman. He's not fitted because he's not fitted for King Xerxes. It's because she was a Jewish woman. But because this lady uh, did not want the palace or the kingdom of Xerxes, but what she had done was to win the heart of King Xerxes. So in this story of the life of Esther, when Esther undergone after she has undergone uh, the beautification, after she had passed all the cosmetics applied to her body, after she had passed the principles of the seduction to win the heart of the king, uh, Esther was chosen to as queen, was chosen as queen in the palace of King Xerxes. Now you know this Esther, because she had passed the beatification for 1 year. She knew what the king likes or the likes of the king, and what are those things that the king don't likes. Okay, so but it's because in the heart of Easter, it is not the palace, it is not the kingdom, but what in her heart was the king. So he wanted to please the king. He wanted to please the king. So in this story of Esther, you know, this story was real story, and it was read by different societies. But during the Holocaust, during the Nazi time of Hitler, this book was banned. The Nazis in the concentration camps did not allow to read this book. It's because it implies that God favors the Israelites, or God protected the Jewish people. And you know, at the time of Hitler, the Nazis were hated, or they hate the Jews. So that's why they executed, or they were the Nazis killed those millions of Jews. So um, now the king or the kingdom. So what is your choice, the king or the kingdom? Maybe some of us, we rather choose the kingdom, we rather choose the palace and not the king. But in Esther, he chose the king rather than the kingdom. He chose the presence of the king rather than the palace. Because in her heart, what is the purpose if the palace has no king? Or what is the purpose if the kingdom has no king? So the kingdom is empty, or the palace is empty, if there is no king. But if she has the king, she has all. If the king favors her, then all of the palace, what are in the palace, what are in the kingdom, will be hers. It's because he had favor for the king. So that is the principle that Esther being kept in her heart. So in this title, the king or the kingdom, the palace or his presence. For us Christians, there are many people who wanted for the uh, the kingdom. There are many people who are after. They wanted the kingdom. They wanted the palace. They wanted whatever things are in the palace. They wanted whatever things in the kingdom. But they rejected the king. So it is useless if we desire the kingdom, if we desire the palace and not the king. So that's why there is one by Jesus in the box of Revelation. He said that to the Ephesian believers, he said that I know your works, I know your labor, I know your patience, but you have left the first love. You have left the first love. So that is the reason that we should seek first the king. We should seek first the king, not the kingdom. It's because we can be diligent, we can be patient, we can be uh, whatever we work hard or whatever that we can be rewarded for that. But if the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, who is Jesus Christ, is not in our heart, then we will find ourselves miserable. We will find ourselves miserable. Why? We are miserable. It's because who can lead us? Who can guide us? Who can protect us if the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, Jesus Christ, is not in us? Is not in our heart. If we don't take favor or we cannot get favor from Him. So that is why we must apply this principle in the life of Esther. That she wanted to please the king. She wanted to win the heart of the king. She wanted to have intimate relationship with the king Xerxes, so that if she have it, she have it the intimate relationship with the king, then all that are in the wealth of the king, the position as being queen, the palace, is hers also. So that is why we don't want to imitate others who want only the blessings, want only the wealth, want only the prosperity, but they left the giver of gifts, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, which is Jesus Christ. So there are many people around the world today that they only seek those blessings, the gifts, but they don't seek the blesser or the owner of the gifts. So that is the fault. That is the fault. That is an error. So I advise each one of us so that we will be successful in our daily lives, like Esther. Esther, why Esther, uh, a very poor woman, became a queen? Why? It's because he pleased the king. He pleased the king. He wanted to have favor from the king. He didn't want. She didn't. She did after the wealth of the king. She didn't after the splendor, the majesty of the king. But what she wanted was the king himself. The king himself. So that's why in this story about what you choose, the king or the kingdom. So we must choose the king. We must choose the king. Uh, and if we are going to relate it in our daily lives, the king, which is God, or he is God, our king, our master, in our daily transaction, let it be that God, we must recognize God as our guide, as the one who will lead us in a transaction. So if you have your business, you will transact business. If you have your work, you will transact your work, whatever your work. So let's see to it that God is first in the first hand. See to it that God is the priority of your transaction, the priority of your life, the priority of your business, the priority of your travel, the priority of your walk, the priority of your relationship, the priority of your family. Let it be that God is your first priority. So that is how, if we are, or if we have a chance to choose the king or the kingdom, so we must choose the king, not the kingdom. So we must have the chance to choose the palace or the presence of the king. So we must choose the presence of the king, not the palace. So that is the principle that is being done by Israel. Israel practice the principle that she getting after the relationship of the king sources. In our lives, we must see to it that our relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ is established. Our relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ is being established. We must have that faith. We must have that belief that if our relationship with our King is being established, we are successful. Like Esther, she had won the heart of the king, and she became queen. She was crowned as queen. Then she maintained that relationship with King Xerxes. Then what she requested to the king, it was done. So what she had requested the king, it was done. Why? It's because of her relationship to the king. She won the heart of the king, the heart of King Xerxes. That's why Queen Esther was successful, even though it was a hard or a difficult time. It was very difficult in in her time. Why? It's because it was very dangerous for her to come to the throne of the king without the request of the king. It is a risky. It is very risky to approach the throne of the king without his request, without his request. So, but when Esther approached the king, even though the king did not requested to come to him, why? It's because Queen Esther had established a relationship to the king, a strong and intimate relationship, and above all, the unseen hand of God is moving. The unseen hand of God is moving in the life of Esther. So that's why she had favor not only by King Xerxes, but also above all from God. She had a favor acquired from the Lord. So that's why the unseen hand of God was moving in the time of Queen Esther, and Queen Esther was very successful. uh, Nothing hindered her in requesting to what she wanted in the king. So that's why in our Christian life, if we have truly an intimate relationship, a strong relationship, we have established our relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ, nothing can hinder us because the unseen hand of God will move behind us or will move upon us. So we have favor like Easter, and our heart must seek the King. Our heart must please the King. So that's all that I'm going to share to each one of us today, and I hope that in the next episode you will be with me. I'm so glad that you are hearing for today. Thank you, and God bless.